Hello and welcome to Business Today. I'm Siddharth Zarabi, bringing you the latest from the World Economic Forum at Davos, and with me two very special guests, and they are special not just for the fact that they represent Indian industry, but for what they are doing. With me, Tapan Singhel, the Managing Director and CEO of Bajaj Allianz, and Ramesh Iyer, the Vice Chairman and MD, and the President of Financial Services and member of the Group Executive Board at Mahindra and Mahindra Financial Services. Welcome to the show. One would have imagined that 2 years of the pandemic, the slowdown and what happened to the commercial vehicle business, for example, or across the entire segment that you have a concentration on, and we were hoping that there would be a pickup infra and other businesses, and suddenly you have now the RBI making it clear that interest rates are going to go back up. Isn't that a risk?
I mean, you look at what is the interest increase we are all talking. Let's say a 50 basis point increase has to be accommodated in the system. And look at the asset that they buy.
Pre-COVID, you have to accommodate 125 basis points.
At least to start with, it's now 50 basis point.
Okay.
So let's look at that if the asset cost is 10 lakh of rupee. What's that 50 basis point on the 10 lakh of rupee? Is that the decision on which somebody is going to decide to buy or not buy?
Does this apply equally, sorry to interrupt you, equally to the SME space as well, which is obviously more exposed to cost pressures?
I think my take on this is all of us have to become super efficient and we have to save this 50 basis point in some other cost. We somehow think which is more publicly discussed as an item that we think hurts us. But there are a lot of internal costs that even the organizations have to focus on.
Is it time to also look at an enforced kind of structure for insurance? Just like you cannot put a car on the road without a proper insurance policy.
Let's look at the other point of it. No, the government came out with the National Health Insurance Scheme, which 40 crore Indians got covered with a 5 lakh sum insured, to the point Ramesh is mentioning. I believe, and there are some states like J&K has done that, where everybody can be covered, and they have made it open to everybody in terms of the government scheme. I believe this will lead to a 4 to 5 year increases in life expectancy of Indians because of good healthcare. And now you see infrastructure developing. You see good companies trying to move to tier 3, tier 4, where they never had presence, to set up infrastructure for health. Now when you make it mandatory, I think that is where, or the government subsidizes it. Let's look at crop insurance. States which had crop insurance, the farmer suicide rates has come down. So I think we don't do this correlation of the downside.
But Tapan, these are government intervention programs, and somebody would also argue that it's linked to politics. It's a kind of a political message also. But for the vast majority of people who are also employed in the services sector, who are month-to-month salary people, they have no cushions.
Now if you look at like a US market, it's mandatory for employers to have a health insurance for the employees that they have.
In a Europe that's once again in the throes of war, energy disruption, in America where inflation is hitting people's wallets, and the subsequent disruptions, India, the elephant, continues to have a story to tell, and that dance is continuing. Ramesh Iyer, Tapan Singhel, thank you very much for your time with us. With that, it's a wrap on this conversation. Stay with us. We'll come back with more. Till then, goodbye.
वीडियो पसंद आया तो हमें लाइक, कमेंट, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब जरूर करें।